Good morning, everybody. This is Ilona Budapesti, Chief Storyteller of 1 Million Women to Tech. And as you can hear in the background, the One Young World Social Impact Hackathon is starting. In the morning, there will be ideation and some speeches, and then the hacking and prototyping will start. So I will also try to set up my other camera so that the speeches can be heard, because this one you can only hear through the little microphone. Okay, so stay tuned. Start putting in your comments. Please tell me where you're from and whether you have checked out the Toolkitten chatbot that I myself will try to be building or starting here. All right, let's get started. Give some thumbs ups with little B. If little B means start a thumbs up. One second. What's the best way to do this?
Sorry, so I just checked this before. I think the schedule is quite tight, so what I'm gonna do is just like pull you out and then people can comment.
If you can just, yes. Okay, hi. This is Julia from Facebook AR team, partnerships team. So what would be lovely is if you would mention the Facebook Developer Circle starting in Oxford, and then if people are here during the summer, to join that.
Hello. Hi everyone, if you want to grab a seat, please. I need to stop the music.
Attention please. Attention please. The fire alarm is about to be tested. Take no action.
Hi everyone, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you all for being here on a Saturday with amazing weather. I really, really appreciate it. So yeah, I think it just shows the kind of people you are, that want to work together to really develop some really creative, innovative solutions today. So yeah, I'm doing just a very short welcome before I introduce the first speaker.
Attention please. Attention please.
Oh, wait.
The fire alarm test is now complete.
I hope there are no more fire alarms today. If the fire alarm starts, probably we need to follow the emergency exit. So some housekeeping. Toilets are just outside through the doors by the reception area. We are going to be staying in this area. If you need to move to the other area, you have to be accompanied by a Facebook employee. And even when you go to that area, Julia's there. So Facebook employees, some are supporting on the outside. Just make sure when you go to the other area, please stay together for security reasons. But yeah, welcome to this morning. So this is One Young World's first social impact hack hosted by Facebook. Usually we do an annual caucus for One Young World Europe, and this time we decided to change things around to actually bring the ambassador community and their guests and anyone interested to actually work together, collaborate, and ideate to help solve some of today's challenges. So what today will look like then? So the first hour, we're going to have some keynote speakers to inspire you, really put some context into what's happening today, and get those creative stimulus going. 11 a.m. is when the hack will start. You will be hacking this room. A couple of teams will be escorted to another room just to make more space. in the room. And we are aiming to have lunch at 1:30 p.m. Obviously, you can continue hacking at 1:30 p.m., but I think we would advise you to also take a break, rewind, have a bite, network with all the amazing people that are in this room. And we will continue at 2:15. The submission for the hack is 6 p.m. and that is the deadline. Okay, so that we start at 6:30 with you guys pitching to the judges, which we'll tell you more about later on. Okay, so the first speaker will be Saf from One Young World that will tell you a bit of One Young World.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming today, and thank you to Facebook and Julia in particular for making today happen, and Tala and Charlie who are here. So I think most of you probably do know what One Young World is, but for some of you who might have never come across it before, or who just saw this hack online and wanted to join, or know someone that was involved, One Young World, plain and simple, is a global platform for young leaders. So Kate Robertson and David Jones founded it nearly 10 years ago with the idea that there is a crisis of leadership in the world, and that there is no real forum that gives a global voice to young people who are actually making a tangible impact on some of the greatest issues, some of which you guys are going to be working on today. So the main, obviously, thing that you guys will have heard about is probably the One Young World Summit, which we host in a different place around the world every year. This year, we're going to have it in The Hague. It's very exciting. But just at a glance, so One Young World is the only forum in the world other than the Olympics that represents 196 countries. So that means that every year we work very hard to bring these people who are doing incredible things from every corner of the world. And collectively since 2010, and I think this is a conservative estimate, 17.5 million people have been impacted by the work that these ambassadors are doing, with nearly 3 million in last year alone. So at the summit itself, you probably will have come across some of our amazing speakers, Kofi Annan, Justin Trudeau, Emma Watson, but I'd like to emphasize that these are not the main focus of our annual summits or of our work. We are very much a community-driven organization, given that we will have nearly 10,000 young leaders across the world at the end of this year. So this community works across every industry, every sector, across every issue you could possibly think of, and they're really the core of our work. And a lot of them are here today. Can you raise your hand if you're a One Young World ambassador? So these are people who have been involved with us for nearly 10 years. So thank you for being here today. Some of you have traveled. We will have someone from Cameroon here. We'll have someone who came from Luxembourg. We've got where? Tokyo, yes. Robin, where are you? Thank you for being here today. So just to get you in the mindset of what the incredible work these people do, I will show you the Ambassadors in Action video rather than the highlights video, even though we want you to do your best to try and join us at the summit, but we really want to show you what people have been working on over the past year.
One Young World ambassadors are changing their communities,
changing their companies, changing their countries.
One Young World ambassadors are changing the world.
Transformons ce million en 3 millions. We'll be more than happy to deliver to Somalia on your behalf.
Vous avez rempli moins 10 de
This same ocean that sustains us is becoming the very thing that is the source of many of our worries. This is no longer some intangible theory or distant threat. It is knocking at my front door.
You may have an army of militant fighters, but there is only so far that hate can travel.
It's all our responsibility to stand extremely together, to show that unity is the way forward.
Growing up, Label endured domestic abuse and violence, which led to homelessness and hunger. She didn't simply rebuild her own life. She built a crisis center that's helped thousands of women and children escape abuse as well.
the British man who won the trip to space, has set a new world record for the biggest lesson ever on mental health.
In Saudi Arabia, it's against the law for women to drive. A group of women took a stand against the ban and started driving.
Now women will be able to drive.
Hey everybody, Matt Damon and Gary White. We're here in Davos giving a shout out to all the One Young World community leaders.
Johannes, Paulus, you.codinglevel.
Bonnie sensational Oscar and Comino.
Ilwa, Ilma.
One Young World.
One young world.
One young world.
One young world.
Every time I watch that, I get a little overwhelmed and I feel like I'm not doing anything. But I think that is also the point of today, is that it will be a really beautiful day where you actually get to work on issues that hopefully you're very passionate about. So we look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. But next we have Yulia from Facebook, who made today happen. Thank you, Yulia.
Wow, what an amazing crowd on a Saturday morning. Thank you so much to all of you for coming. So my name is Julia, and I work on a team called Platform Partnerships here at Facebook. And our mission here at Facebook is to give people the power to build communities and bring the world closer together. So when Sephora and I met a couple of months ago, and we kind of, brainstormed a few ideas of what we can do together and how we can support One Young World, I got really excited when she told me about the things that are happening in this community and through the ambassadors and through each one of you guys, and like the impact you're having on the world. So to me, it was, it was kind of immediate that there is so much synergy and so much cool stuff that we can do together. And so, yeah, I'm really, really excited to see what you hack and what you build. And hackathons are actually very, very kind of ingrained into our culture here at Facebook. Some of the very big products that you are probably either familiar with or use every day, so things like the like button or the Facebook chat or Facebook Live have all come out of a hackathon project. There was also been like a ton of things that didn't work out so well, but I do really hope that like by the end of today there will actually be some amazing solutions that will come out of this group that really have the potential to redefine industries and change the world. Whether I know there's been some amazing topic from mental health to kind of tackling plastic pollution and so on. So it's very, very exciting. I can tell you a little bit about kind of the part of Facebook that I work on, which is the Facebook Developer Platform. When we first started in 2007, we felt like Facebook couldn't build alone, essentially. So we needed to open up a platform to businesses and developers and people who could use our tools to build communities and help us achieve our mission. Back then in 2007, Facebook had 24 million users, which is just over 10 years ago. We're super happy to share now we're over 2 billion users all around the world. So it's incredible how much can be achieved in a relatively short space of time. I also wanted to share this concept that we particularly believe here in is the concept of the multiplier effect. And so the multiplier effect is essentially a concept that when a particular change in input happens, for example, government spending goes up, the larger change in output happens as well. So, for example, GDP grows if government spending is up. So this is just to illustrate an example. If a government decides to build a road, that leads to easier transportation in the world, and that there you go. That leads to easier transportation, that accelerates the distribution of goods. This increases commerce and ultimately leads to more investment and more growth in the world. So the same concept is very much true for community and hopefully for all of you here today. If you invest a little bit into somebody who is a multiplier, that leads to you know, more people and more people's lives being touched, and communities grow over time. So more changes, more improvements, and ultimately more connections. So one of the ways we're doing that through bringing our own community is a program that we have called Developer Circles. It's our ambassador-led program, and we have developer circles all around the world. One of them is in Oxford. We just launched with Ilona.
First UK one, please come visit us.
She's our amazing Oxford DevC lead. So if you want to find out more, come chat to us or to me. But essentially, it's our ambassador-led program where people in their own communities are hosting meetups, hosting hackathons, hosting webinars, and all sorts of other stuff to support each other around topics they care around in tech. So there is also an online community that you can join once you're part of. If you go to developer.facebook.com, circles, you can anyhow, bottom line, we're really excited to see what you guys create over the next 8 hours or so. All of you here are essentially multipliers who are touching. You all have the potential to touch millions of billions of people's lives through the solutions you're about to hack on. So good luck. Cool. So now we have our first keynote speaker here that I'd like to introduce, Christy Levette, who's the founder and CEO of Creative Conscience, which is a CIO and global platform that encourages and rewards creative thinking for social justice and sustainability. So Christy will tell you more about Creative Conscience. Christy.
I'll try. So hello everyone. Thank you so much for addressing myself. Thank you for that. And I'm founder and CEO of the organization. Now, I think in order to change things, let's have to. So, what I'd like to get you to do, I'd like you to sit just for a minute and close your eyes. I'd like you to close your eyes and I'd like you to imagine a world where every single thing that we create, that we design, that we build, that we even manufacture, serves humanity and our planet. Imagine just for a second that world. It would be a very different world. It would be a fairer, healthier, more just, sustainable world. And that world is possible. It absolutely is possible. Those who might be cynical in the room, there are companies and organisations that are working against that way of thinking, and they're successful and they're making money. Brilliant employees and everything focused on that. So on that thought was the building of our organisation. We're a charity incorporated organisation, CIM, and a global movement. We've been built by an amazing community. And we do this by using the power of education to build better societies, utilising civic engagement, inspiring and supporting, rewarding the next generation of creative thinkers to apply their talents to socially valuable projects related to sustainability, freedom, social justice, human health. So we, that was our vision. And we thought, well, we wanted to change our industry, but we soon realised we couldn't do that. So we set up a global platform to reward and encourage young creative thinkers from around the world. And we set up a competition. And I'm just going to run this film, which explains a bit about it. And then I'm going to show you some case studies. It's talked about.
To push the systems that do not want to be pushed, to move the people who do not want to be moved, to help people understand there's a better way of creating wealth in the world today that is sensitive to the environment and caring about other people. That's the passion and the power behind these Creative Conscience Awards.
Creative Conscience. An organisation that's been set up by a community of creative people who believe that creative thinking and innovation can create positive change in the world.
And you may not realise this, how exquisite it is to be able to be creative and to do something that actually really you passionately care about. Designers have a unique set of problem-solving skills, so they possess the ability to make ideas visible, tangible, and they can apply these skills to some of the pressing issues of the time. It's that idea that as creatives and designers, we can have a positive impact on the environment.
I think in order to make some huge changes we've got to do, we need people who are willing and able to stand on that edge of what's possible. We started with creating student awards, and across 12 design disciplines, from architecture, food, fashion, textiles, film, photography, animation, illustration, graphics, advertising.
I think what the Creative Conscience Awards are doing now is connecting up young designers with the problem, with an opportunity to say to the world, this is the difference we can make right now. Participating in an award like this, I think it shows students the quick strength which they can use design thinking, and they can actually use design to change people's lives. It's definitely a fresh need to try and do something that gives back to the community in the world, or to create actions like in made real and save lives. Well, all of you are working on different ways, ideas. Open up people's perspectives on what that better world might be.
So that's where we started 7 years ago. A community built by community. And we soon started to realise that this year we've had over 1,000. There's no point in giving someone an award unless you can. build stuff. So we started a lot of community build. And I'm going to show you a couple of projects that some of them have been sent to us this year, and they're relevant to the topics that we're talking about. The first one is that I'm just going to write a film and let you enjoy the whole thing. That concept was sent to us last year. We had a conversation about it, but we are in touch with build into a campaign using our to speak on saying more words to other usual people. This next project is called Animator, and I there Amy graduated everyone. So Amy has just graduated. She's an animator, and she's created. The reason we put a lot of different things together is to confuse right. I'm going to run Amy's animation, and it was around trying to get them to talk about their issues, because sadly, I think 78% of suicides are actually Amy's
Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. It doesn't mean it shouldn't be taken seriously. It's easy to feel it if you're around. The thing with mental health is it's important to identify that you've got a problem the moment that we talk about it. It's not so easy to just suddenly stick your hand up and say,
want to get off this. I suppose it's difficult to ask for help if you don't think you should feel like this. You can't see the way forward. I don't look ill, so I must be okay. I feel as though talking to someone is the important first step. It made me realise that I wasn't alone, and there's always someone you can talk to. I don't feel mental health is something to be ashamed of.
Animation skills. So, so there's a couple coming from this part. And here's a project on a policy. I know that's something I'm looking at. This was actually about creating a brand, and it was when we were sponsored actually by Unilever that these young people put this product together. So it's kind of using the idea of creating a product, but within the policy. I guess, we have male products and female products, and is that actually useful, or is that what we need in the world? So, the things, they're not with us today. That was a project from a couple of years ago. This was another project from some students in the States.
I'll let it run. Colored lines that tell a unique story of each community. And that's exactly what Pantone decided to bring into the limelight in collaboration with the Metropolitan Transportation Authority of New York. Only it was for us, the LGBT community. Why? Because it noticed something not many people did, that the color of the subway lines were also included in the Gay Pride flag, a subconscious testament to the open, accepting nature of New York. And soon, simple subway journeys turned into Pantone's Route of Pride, a website where the stories and interactions between us and other people were as complex, simple, and varied as the subway connections themselves. On this website, people from the LGBT community and those outside of it shared stories and interactions with one another and posted them on the color of the lines in which they took place.
And the last thing I'm going to show you is it Roshi. Yes! I'm such a horrible dyslexic who can barely read and write, and I've been practicing that. So, Roshi, do you want to stand up and say hello to everyone? Probably very embarrassed. Sorry for putting you on the spot, Roshi. So this was Roshi's project, and it's just the most brilliant idea about creating awareness on pollution within our city, and we're going to work with Roshi and a brilliant jeweler to try and get this particular product, this thing, out onto the market. So I'll run the film, and you can ask Rashid afterwards. I'm going to keep talking because I'm conscious of the time. So, well, she made these amazing pieces of jewellery using the pollution under the Westway, which is okay where kids and people play. She's got one of these things around her neck, so please do talk to her. And we'll, you know, we've got hundreds, thousands and thousands of concepts and projects from apps to campaigns. And our hope is that we work with One Young World to bring our creative community alongside these global leaders to help them push their ideas out there and make them more powerful. I'm going to click through these very quickly. I was going there anyway. We need to work in mental health because you know, hundreds and hundreds of young people now are suffering from mental health. Another brilliant young lady in the room, Rosa, stand up, Rosa, say hi. She did an amazing project recently. And human beings are wired to be of service, but we are educated, agreed. And we, as an organisation, want to change our education system to build purpose into everything that we are taught in school. So we stop this misguided social economic model that we are currently on. And because you guys are in service today by being in this room, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to all of you. Thanks for listening. We're around all day, and I hope you have a brilliant hackathon. Thank you.
Thank you, Chrissy, for coming, for speaking, also for bringing the whole team here with you. We really, really appreciate it. So I hope that was really inspiring. Just some of the examples or the projects you've seen, you know, some can be online platforms, others could be Others could be campaign ideas or services, etc. So really, the floor is yours. We have so many different skill sets in the room, which makes it so amazing that within your teams, you know, you come from very, very different backgrounds, very, very different skill sets, and it will be amazing to see how you all really complement each other and come up with innovative solutions. I'd love to present our second keynote speaker for the day. We're very lucky to have Ed join us. Ed is the co-founder of Futera, a change agency that specializes in business transformation and creative communications and campaigns. But he's also a writer, a communication specialist, a serial entrepreneur, and many, many other things that he'll also talk to you about. So, Ed, yours.
I feel old. It was also my birthday last night, so forgive me if I'm a little bit husky. So, you know, when the alarm went off this morning at 8 o'clock, I was like, why did I sign up for this? And then within 10 minutes of being here, I'm reminded exactly why I'm here, because you lot are amazing. So, 10 minutes from me on state of the world. What do we do about it? So, it's always important to kind of bear in mind the bigger picture. When you're doing your creative work and you're strategizing, coming up with your product, services, campaigns today, remember that it's nasty out there. Okay, we've got big challenges on our hands. We always have to think about the geopolitical level. I'm not going to dwell on he who shall not be named, but this was obviously the state of play at the recent G7 summit. Some people say this is a Renaissance painting. Actually, if you know your history of art, it's a Baroque painting. And also we've spent the last 6 months thinking that we have these two thin-skinned narcissists with father issues who are going to be taking us to the brink of nuclear Armageddon. Which makes our focus look a little bit weird. They're going to be talking about the size of their nuclear buttons. And then, you know, we thought this was all going to be a bit weird. And then at the Winter Olympics in Seoul, you know, you have the impersonators of Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump. We thought this was a joke. And then it actually happened. You know, we actually had the rapprochement. We had them coming back together. And obviously, it's all about the economy and whatever trade deal you want to have. And you know, when Dennis Rodman is commenting on kind of international political issues whilst wearing a t-shirt promoting a marijuana-based cryptocurrency. You are living in strange times. This is why I'm kind of with Elon Musk, who says we're living in a simulation and someone's trying to crash the game. It's the only way you can explain Brexit, Trump, and the fact that the England team have suddenly become good at football. Also, you've obviously got the kind of unexpected re-election of Vladimir Putin in Russia. I'm not disrespecting our hosts here today, but obviously there's been a lot of talk about Cambridge Analytica and what we do with the privacy of our data. I love this particular headline. How much does Cambridge Analytica know about you? Take the test to find out. And also we've had the terrible treatment of the Windrush generation in the UK, and apparently it's okay to keep kids in cages now. I don't think that's cool. So we have big challenges. Plus, it's also happening ecologically. It's very sobering when you realise I'm 46 years old. So within the generation, certainly my parents' generation, we lost over half of our wild vertebrate biomass since 1950. That's half the wild animals in the world lost in a generation. So there's something bad going on up there. Plus, nice plastic bottles, Facebook. 1 million plastic bottles per minute being produced globally. So, you know, we have to do something about these things. Plus, on top of all that, we've got climate change. Now, this is obviously the big bugbear which is swimming along, all enjoying this fantastic heat wave at the moment. Earlier in March this year, you had the beast from the east, which were these super cold cells coming down from the Arctic. This is not just the canary in the coal mine, this is a whole chorus of canaries going off at the same time. So this is Arctic temperatures of the Arctic Circle. You can see the average temperatures over time. This is what was happening in March this year. 20 degrees centigrade above average. 20 degrees centigrade above average. So we have some systemic challenges. Plus, it's also hitting us economically. The 3 Category 5 hurricanes, which raced across the Gulf of Mexico last year, caused $306 billion worth of damage to the US economy. So it's actually hitting us where it hurts. And as well as massive, catastrophic, avoidable acts of self-harm, we know how to make the best of, like climate change, we of course have Brexit. Which I'm sure we are almost unanimous in this room, hopefully, that this is probably the biggest disaster that the UK has ever tried to self-inflict on itself. As our Brexit Minister, David Davis, said, don't worry, we won't plunge Britain into a Mad Max dystopia. Well, that's reassuring, because that's what we're worried about. And when your own monarch at a state opening of Parliament is wearing an outfit that looks strangely reminiscent of the Indian flag. When your Queen is trolling her own Prime Minister, this is where you know this is where humanity is at. We are being forced to stare up our own fundamentals. We are kind of reaping the whirlwind of unintended consequences. We didn't mean to fuck it up this badly, but now is the reckoning. Every intelligent species at some point in its development will run up against the limits of its planet. What happens next is the proving ground. Do we grow up and sort it out, or do we carry on squabbling? This is what I've been working on for the best part of 20 years. I co-founded my agency, Coworking, 17 years ago. I always joke that when I first started working in sustainability, it was a bit like wetting yourself whilst wearing a dark suit. No one noticed, but it gave you a warm feeling inside. Now we say it's like teenage sex. Everyone says they're doing it. Very few people actually are, and those that are doing it quite badly. These are old jokes, but I'm an environmentalist, so I'm cycling. And our mission has been to make sustainability so desirable it becomes normal, and that's based on the idea that sustainability itself is evolving. The world is changing. It's going from how you kind of used to manage your past impact and doing less bad and it being a vaguely charitable, philanthropic thing to do, to how you create future opportunity and do more good. And we saw in those amazing campaigns from Creative Conscience that Chrissy was showing us. This is where we change the world. And our work is a combination of two things, logic and magic. So we help our clients rediscover their sense of vision and purpose. We help them build the right business models and the transformational action plans. And then we create the campaigns which bring all of that to life, touch people's hearts and minds. And building on what Chrissy said, our proposition, one word brother, imagine better. If you want to change the world, first you've got to imagine a better one. You've got to be able to envision it where we want when we're going. Because one of the key things we have to do is redefine prosperity beyond simple economics. This is about flourishing and thriving with up to 9 billion people on the planet by 2050. How old do you think the world's oldest company is?
300.
200?
University is 800.
It's actually 1,400 years old. It's a company called Tongagumi, a Japanese company, run by the 42nd generation of the same family that started it. What do? They build Buddhist temples. So admittedly, it's not a kind of industry that's going particularly out of fashion, but I mention that because this is where we need to go for in the longevity. Just wondering if I've sent the right presentation to it. It's like 120 slides. Anyway, we'll go very quickly. But going back to what I was saying about unintended consequences, this is an amazing invention. The invention of the tin can in the 18th century, brilliant for storing, preserving, and transporting perishable foodstuffs. How long between the invention of the tin can and the invention of the can opener? I guess 38 years. 38 years of people lacerating themselves with hammers and chisels and knives to open these things, because this is what we do repeatedly. We create something, it does something good, and then there's a disastrous after impact after it. And my job here today, I think, is not to kind of predict what the future is going to be doing for you, but to hopefully stretch your imagination of the possible. You know, actually, because when we try and predict, we usually get it horribly wrong. This is a prediction from Wilbur Wright in 1901. Man will not fly for 50 years. He was building a plane at the time. How about that, having faith in your own ability? Or this one from Ken Olsen, who was the president of the Digital Equipment Corps in 1977, which was a Microsoft of its day. There's no reason anyone would want a computer in their home. That worked out well. And then from the old days of rail in the 19th century, reflecting the sort of sexism and misogyny of the day, women's bodies are not designed to go at 50 miles an hour. Their uteruses will fly out of their bodies with accelerated speed. This may explain why a lot of British trains can't go over 50 miles an hour. So the point I want to make is actually the future's out there. It's just not evenly distributed yet. This is the challenge we have. William Gibson said this: we have all the technology we need, we have the money. What we don't have is the mindset. And that's why the work that you're going to be doing here today is so important, because it's all about shifting perspective. And I refer to this as the kind of the story gap, like a shift about, because the story we're currently living is breaking or broken. And so we're trying to define a new story, a new narrative of understanding, because dogs sniff bottoms, we tell stories. They're the way we make sense of our relationships with each other and the wider world around us. And perhaps the most pernicious story is the march of progress, where we like to think that it's inexorable, it's inevitable, it always goes in one direction. Every generation enjoys a better quality of life than the one that came before them. It's not necessarily true. What we're very good at doing is creating progress traps, which is these laws of unintended consequences. And the best example of this is probably climate change. Because essentially, what we're talking about here is our pursuit of progress and the kind of burning of billions of years of fossilized ancestors in terms of fossil fuels has enabled us to create this amazing world around us. But the carbon emissions coming from that burning are now creating the climate change, which undermines our potential for future progress. So these are why we talk about tipping points and turning points and having to change things around. Because Ayn Rand, I don't like to quote Ayn Rand very often, wrote Atlas Shrugged. She said, you know, so there's a lot of people in denial out there. We can evade reality, but we can't evade the consequences of evading reality. You know, to paraphrase it in the modern parlance, you know, facts don't care about your feelings. And the thing is here, there is no such thing as a sustainable company or a sustainable country or a sustainable city or even a sustainable person in an unsustainable world. We all have to shift this together. And why I think this is important is because businesses that I work with are always faced with two dilemmas. One is, how do you live and breathe and act on a bigger than self sense of purpose? And two, how do you constantly, disruptively innovate your own business model? The classic example of Kodak is the sort of historical one, because Kodak failed to do both of those things. If Kodak had lived its purpose, you know, which was to capture the Kodak moment, the kind of beautiful family memory, the party, the holiday, whatever, they would have invented Instagram. You know, they didn't, and also they didn't disrupt themselves. When Kodak had the digital camera in the 70s, someone said, "Well, you can't launch that. It's going to be fundamentally threatening to our celluloid film-based business model." And it worked out very well for them as they went bankrupt. So two things: you've got to have a bigger than self purpose, and you've got to disruptively innovate yourself. And it's getting weird out there. Tyson Foods, America's biggest meat packer and producer, is now turning itself into a protein company. Just bought a big non-meat, plant-based company called Beyond Meat, and the CEO said, "I don't want to have a Kodak moment. You know, I'm buying up my competitors, or what people might perceive to be my competitors, because they're potentially the lifeblood of my business." And then we also have pointless businesses. You might know the story of Juicero. This is Silicon Valley gone mental. Basically, the Juicero was a $400 desktop-based Wi-Fi-enabled juicing machine, which received $120 million of VC investment, I hasten to add. And what you do is you get these pre-mixed packets of juice, which you insert into the machine, and the machine squeezes it into a glass. At which point, someone at Bloomberg pointed out that actually you can just squeeze it into a glass. $120 million. So don't come up with this. If at the end of today, when I come back to do the judging, and we've got a juice row, I'm going to cry. And just to finish, the thing is, you guys know this. We all need to get re-motivated and re-energized and repurposed. Basically, we go out State of the Global Workplace Report in 2017. This will come as no surprise to you lot. 87% of employees are either not engaged or actively disengaged at work. I think there might be some problem with the world of work, if that's the case, that nearly 90% of us actually don't give a shit, you know, or are trying to avoid giving a shit. And the reason why purpose is so fundamental, everyone in Avenue Q? Yeah, Avenue Q, West End musical, featuring Muppets having sex, if that's your thing. There's a song in that called Purpose, and the lyric is, "So that will flame that lights fire under your ass. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning. It's what drives you." Because without a purpose that's bigger than yourself, and this is why you're all here today, I hope, you're only going to serve yourself. You know, you have to think bigger, have to think collectively. And it's something which is also fantastic for our own mental health. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know, you go from the physiological needs, the basic food, water, shelter, warmth. We go up through the social stuff around belonging, sense of community, love, and then we go up to the self-actualization, inner talent, creative fulfillment, bigger than self-purpose, and then ultimately sublimate off the top of the pyramid to become the Buddha. Of course, that's all underpinned by Wi-Fi, which you can't do anything without. But what I want to leave you with is this idea that actually anything you want to do commercially or in business, profit is your reward for serving society. As Chrissy was saying, this is about meeting needs. This is what we're hardwired to do. We are a co-inspirational, collaborative species. We're not a bunch of atomized, self-interested individuals. Plus, all the evidence is now showing that these businesses are great businesses. So it doesn't matter, this is a study by Oxford University, 200 different studies analysed. 90% show that companies with good environmental and social governance standards have better investment opportunities, they have better operational performance, and their stock price is also related to their responsibility. The world's biggest asset manager, BlackRock, with $6 trillion worth of assets under management, Larry Fink, the CEO, said, without a sense of purpose, no company, either public or private, can achieve its full potential. Let's not create this situation. As the cartoon says, yes, the planet got destroyed, but for a beautiful moment in time, we created a lot of value to shareholders. That is not what we're here to do. Hopefully some of the ideas that will come out today may actually turn into real businesses. Futera is one of the UK's first benefit corporations, and this is a big movement now. The next generation of business is being born. Benefit corporations rewrite their articles of association to say that their purpose is about delivering social and environmental benefit. You can do it commercially, and you can make money at the same time, but your reason for existence is social and environmental value. How about that for a change? Already £1 billion worth of business being done through B Corps in the UK, and it's going to get much bigger very quickly. So, can you change the world and fix the environment and the economy at the same time? Of course you can. You know, anyone who says you can't has got a very tiny brain. Basically, this is our dynamic, innovative challenge for a generation: is to breed and invent a new suite of businesses which actually meet real human needs and change the world for the better. So purposeful, sustainable and creative is what it's all about. We have the global goals, and I've just started the accelerator, which is actually addressed trying to meet these 17 different goals. But ultimately, it's about imagining better, as I said at the beginning. So today, gird your loins, sharpen your wits, polish your brains, hug each other, make each other laugh, provoke, challenge, and graft your asses off. And I look forward to seeing your efforts of imagining better later on this afternoon. Thank you very much.
There was one last slide. Well, thank you so much, Ed. Very inspiring, I think, very thought-provoking for today. So the last bit will be for me just to go through some of the details for the day about the hack specifically. We will also have Johan, who will say a bit about the team allocation, the personal assessment profiles that you all filled out, most of you filled out, and we'll talk about that in a sec. So the hack. I hope you all read the guide to the hack before coming, because it outlines all the details, but we'll quickly run through what you're tasked to do today. So, as a team, collaborative team, come up with an impactful and thought-through social impact idea that tackles your assigned challenge. So every team now knows what the theme they're working on is. Obviously, within that theme, it's quite broad, but there's a lot of challenges that are happening. So focus on one that inspires you all as a team, and come up with a creative solution to help solve it. That idea can be anything that's innovative. So we've seen some examples. So this could be an app, it could be a service, it could be an initiative, a campaign, a business idea, a new business model, or a combination of all the above. As I mentioned, there's so many varied skill sets. We have amazing mentors here with us that will also help support you if there is a gap in the skill set, or obviously, if you want to develop a Facebook app, but you don't actually know the technical aspects of it, there's a team for Facebook that's also here to support and guide you through it. And what you will have to deliver by the end of the day. So the first thing at 6 p.m., we need you to fill out the summary template. So we'll give these around to the groups in a bit. It's just an A3 pager where you get to outline what your idea is, so it's documented on paper. But you also have to develop your pitch for the day, the 3-minute pitch to the judges, where you really want to go above and beyond by impressing the judges with what you have developed throughout the day. Again, this could be anything. You could do a presentation. It could be a live demo of your development. Really see what time is able to give you. Work very hard to stretch yourselves and the deliverables.
The judging criteria, so you have 10% on the team dynamics and collaboration, so the mentors are helping you, but they are also watching how things are going. You know, not all of you know each other, so it could be quite challenging, but also with the team allocations, you know, we're all here to collaborate and work together and listen to each other's ideas. 60% will be the idea strength and applicability to the topic, so the theme that you've been given, what is the challenge you're trying to address. Obviously 30% on the practicality of implementation. We don't want automatic juicers that are to really think of how you will be implemented. Also, if it is more challenging and you think it's something that can be implemented in a year, and you want to outline what are the steps to actually get you there, what are the resources you need. So nothing's impossible. Just make sure it's thought through. Obviously, we're here at Facebook, so if you are using a Facebook tool or technology that was outlined in the guideline, you do get some extra points as well. So really think of how can Facebook or the Facebook tools and technologies really be that multiplier that really helps you reach and make all these connections. So it's all in there. We have it on your emails, on your phones, on your computers. So please read through if you have any questions. Reminder of the 3 themes. We have teams working on pollution. We have teams working on mental health. We have teams working on disability, diversity, and inclusion. Again, it's all in the hack. We put some thought starters to get you going. I hope you've done your own research, or in this morning, you know, you can, as a team, you know, share what you know, the insights of the theme, kind of areas that you think you can work on. And again, there's mentors here who are subject matter experts in these different areas. So if you're really stuck, please flag, please tell us, and we'll be able to help and support you. So I've talked a lot about the mentors, but let me please introduce them. They're going to be here around the day. Obviously, they'll not be sitting with you throughout the whole day, so they're going to be popping in and out to help you through it. You've already met Chrissy from Creative Conscience, Ed, who just spoke as well from Futera. We have Johan. Johan has been instrumental in really looking at all your personality assessment profiles and allocating you to the different groups based on your skill sets and personality traits. Also, if you want to blame him on some of if you don't agree with it, he's the guy. So yeah, we have Johan, who'll tell you a bit more about it. We have Rose as well from, she's the COO of Adia Health, a startup on a mission to really revolutionize women's reproductive health care and mental health. So she will be a mentor on the mental health teams that are with us. We have Alex. One second, Alex, I have your somewhere. Alex heads up Alia, which is a serious impact accelerator that's based here in Hackney in London in the Future Business Center. Alex will also be working with the teams throughout the day to help stimulate you, challenge you, and make sure you've really considered everything. We're also very happy to have Paula join us. Paula works with RAP and is very knowledgeable about the whole plastic pollution and sustainable development here to help us. We have also Ilona. You've seen her earlier today. She's the co-lead for the first Facebook Developer Circle in Oxford. And Ilona also is going to be, she leads the 1 Million Women to Tech. So she can tell you more about it if you're interested. Just reach out to Ilona. She's with us all day to tell you more about it. We also have Frederick, who's joining us, who's also an AI engineer, who's also the other co-lead for the Developer Circle, Facebook Developer Circle in Oxford. If you're more interested, please reach out to them, who will also tell you more about it. So Johan from Entrepreneurial Muscle Memory will quickly tell you more about, you know, your assessments, what entrepreneurial muscle memory is, and then we can start.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'll be very quick, guys. Now we've spent so much time not like acting and doing things, which is what I guess you all came for today. My name is Johan Bergman, and I'm co-founder of Entrepreneurial Muscle Memory. Just a raise of hands, who have read the reports yet? That paper you got in the morning. Okay, great. So for those of you who didn't look at it, so you got these 2 sheets. The first one is an overview of sort of what we do and what the muscle memory is. And the second one is a tailored report based on your online assessment. So basically, the entrepreneurial muscle memory is a framework that helps you prepare for the future of work. And as some of you know, during your lifetime, you might change jobs over 7 times, and it's quite possible that maybe 5 of those jobs don't exist yet. So how do you prepare for a job that doesn't exist? Well, we think that you can actually start by working on the skills that will help you thrive in change. And who knows better to thrive in change than entrepreneurs who actually achieve success by pivoting, changing, testing things out, failing. So we did an academic study of a bunch of successful entrepreneurs in the US and found a set of 4 traits that they had very strong within them. Now, the good thing here is that you all have them too, at varying levels. And even better is that we can all train these skills to become better at it, become more entrepreneurial, and become more sort of certain of ourselves in situations where there is a lot of uncertainty and change, such as the world we live in right now, to Ed's point earlier here. So that's basically what we do. We help you prepare for the future. We have 7 core competencies that we have identified. No rocket science here. These are all things that you know, right? But it's basically about understanding how we can train and also contextualizing and criticizing what they are, so we can talk about them and train them. You all got your reports, and we had 3 different sections. So the first one is your top strength. So your top strength is derived from your online assessment, and then you have a little section talking about sort of how to spot, like what it is, how does it manifest in people in general. And I'm sorry, Virginie, I used the report here. I hope that's okay. The second one is your area of development. So the skill that came at the bottom of your assessment. And so similar there, how to spot it. And so things that you can actually use to improve it. And then you have the third section here, which is basically entrepreneurial self-awareness, comparing what our online assessment said to what you actually picked as your top and bottom skills. Now, disclaimer, of course, it's a lot about how you perceive these skills, how you think about them, and how you define them. But it can really provide you sort of a stepping stone to understanding this, how you perceive yourself and how others perceive you. So in parallel to saving the world today, you can also start your own personal entrepreneurial development. So think about the strength that you got on your report. Does it resonate? Is it actually something that you use in your work on a daily basis? And the area of improvement, what is that? Does that resonate? Do you feel at home with that? And do you use other skills or competencies to actually cover up for that sort of lower level? And then third, do you know your entrepreneurial self? And this is not about being an entrepreneur starting new companies. This is about just creating new projects, starting new industries that we all do on a daily basis today. We have some other events coming up as well. We're in Sacramento 2 months with the web, and then we're coming back here to London doing an event in November. So if you find this interesting and fun, let's hang out then as well. And if you have any questions, thoughts, feedback, whatever it might be about the reports or the process or other questions, come and talk to me. I'd love to hear all of your thoughts. Thank you.
We're going to kick off, but for some of you, you've done hacks before or innovation ideation sessions. Some of you might not. So I'll just quickly walk you through what an innovation process is. Obviously, you don't have to speak to this, but it helps the structure and the timings for the day. Do a team warm up, introduce yourself, share your profile, what your strengths and weaknesses are, and talk openly with your team that you're going to be working with all day. Start thinking about the challenge at hand. You all have insights and experiences. If it's mental health, what do you know about it? What do you think are already opportunities or challenges you should be addressing? Make sure you write the ideas down. When someone's talking, you have an idea, put it down, you will forget it. So as soon as something pops your head, any idea is a good idea. They always say that there's no stupid ideas, so just put them down so that you can also share them with the team. continuously review. It's an iterative process. So once you put the ideas down individually, share them with the team, build on them, review them, continue developing them, and then pick the winning idea as a team. Put in some criteria down, implementation, the impact it has on the actual challenge. This will help you really narrow down the choices to what you really want to work on. So as a team, collaborate together on what you think should be the winning idea. And then develop the idea further. Really think of how you'll bring it to life, how will you impress the judges. Think of the time frame you have, what is realistically possible to do within the time limit that you have. Maybe a complete demo might not be possible, but think of the things that you are able to share. Time to prototype, develop, and create your ideation. Also, think of what the judges will challenge you on. Make sure the idea is thought through. You will get a Q&A. So just make sure you give it some time to actually, consider what the judges might ask you about, so you have the answers. And finally, finalize, submit, and present on time. 6 p.m. is the deadline. So if I was you, pre-lunch, probably have developed the idea up to voting or chosen an idea that gives you some time over lunch to really think it through. Find out what other teams are doing, maybe as well. How it's happening. And then post-lunch really is focusing on that one idea. Obviously, you might not want to do the whole process. You already have a winning idea that you run with, but this can actually help. So we're starting now. We're about 15 minutes late, but that should be fine. So we have 7 hours, 6:45, 6 p.m. deadline. If you have any questions, if we're running late, please come to me, ask me, or ask any of the mentors. I hope everyone has had their anyone who filled in an assessment that has a profile. There's a couple of people who forgot to pick it up in reception, so if you haven't, please also flag myself or Charlie. Okay, are you ready? Yeah. Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay, let's go. You can start now. The time is on. Oh no, that's okay. Sorry.
I open up this and then I close the browser and I have a guest here for you. There are some errors, you just close them out. Your start password? Yeah. I need to write it down. Yeah.
Sorry guys, we see the microphone for 1 sec. Hello? Yeah.
Okay, so Team Marco, anyone from Team Marco? Yeah. Team Marco, we're gonna take you to another room, okay? Team Buto, we're also gonna take you to another room, and Team Robertson. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. You want the mouse? Yes. I like the charger back, and I also like All right. Amy.
Yes.
Ilona.
Hi, Louise.
Louise.
Hi.
Ilias. Nice to meet you.
Liliana.
Iliana.
Liliana.
Liliana.
Nice to meet you.
Ilona. Nice to meet you.
Would you like a bag or should we get
I would love to sit between you or something like this. Yeah? If that's all right. All right. So, yeah.
So we were just literally just looking at this and going over the structure of what we're going to do. We haven't got to the warm-up yet, but that would be, I guess, the first thing that we do.
Usually, yeah, 5 minutes to get to know the team. So yeah, usually we go like around the table and present ourselves. The main things and what we do, what we're here, the age, whatever you want to say. Exactly. So that we know who we're talking with. Yeah.
Cool.
That's right.
That's
Okay.
it. Yep.
Okay. So I'm Amy. 21. I just graduated from Cambridge University, studying illustration animation. I'm here just to help out on the creative side of things. I think I'm part of the creative teaching team. And yeah, quickly show my animation at the beginning.
That was fantastic. How long did it take you to do it from start to
That
finish?
was an 11-week project, but that's including research and everything like that.
Wow. Wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So my background's more mental health,
Oh,
but
good idea. Thank you.
my background's more mental health, but I'm happy to help on this one.
Good. All right.
Okay. So my name's Louise. I'm a film producer and actress, but mainly film producer at the moment. And I'm working at developing, as you guys know, an audio description, immersive audio description, so that films can be enjoyed by 100% of people and not just 30%. That's the current statistic, or percentage that's currently covered.
Huh. Okay. Okay.
And the quality of the audio description is so bad. Like it's just so like you can listen to an example and they stop the whole film, like sound design, all of these things that make a film a film. They pause everything and then just say whatever it is, and then they continue and the film goes up again. So through acting, because so the film that I just did called How to Be Human. It's a short film being taken into a feature film.
Wow. Awesome.
Students who works on the sound design, his friend is blind, and it's something he's very passionate about doing, and so he used our film as a case study, and then we saw the potential that it has. Wait, should we just say what our strengths and our what our skill set?
Yeah. So it was animation and
yeah. I didn't take the test, but I guess design.
So it says networking, but this is very helpful for this. But I guess the communication and like infusing people, I would say. So pitching sometimes.
Do you write well? You could write the pitch script, for example.
I mean, I'm better when someone's written it, and then I look over, like, when I have something to work with, I'm good at molding that, but, like, taking it from brain to paper is not my strength. It's more like polishing what's there and making what that is into something that people want to be a part of.
Well, I'm Liliana, as you guys know. I'm a Master International Business student, and I work as a bid manager at NT, which is a large French group. I live in Paris, and I hate all kind of inequalities, especially between men and women, but all of the rest as well. And this is also why I'm here today. Because I believe, and my first choice was disability, because I believe sometimes we're born with a disability, we don't choose to be disabled, so I find it very, very unfair to face difficulties compared to others. So I'm also part of a lot of associations, women empowerment associations, public speaking and leadership association. I don't know if you know about it, Toastmasters.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. I'm part of Toastmasters, and I was telling them I also mentor kids at Hackathons, just like that, for events related to technology and artificial intelligence. So, according to the test, and I think it's pretty accurate, my number one strength is communication, and the room for improvement is problem solving. Voila.
So my name is Elias, and I study finance and management. One more year to graduate, and so I'm from Munich, Germany. And before that, I actually also founded a company, actually a social enterprise, you could say. But then I decided, to go for higher studies and learn more. And the reason why I study finance is because I'm quite enthusiastic about entrepreneurship, and I believe the core thing about any enterprise are the finance. So it starts there, but it also ends there. So that's the main reason why I study finance.
What was the social enterprise?
So it was called Naturwerkstatt, which so we produced organic dough, which was made by like natural sheep wool, basically, right? So the whole idea was from this organic material to create something nice and stylish. Yeah. We had some really cool collaborations. Then I kind of had to decide if I go on further with that or if I go and continue with my studies. So I decided to go to studies. I don't regret it. I think it was a good decision, and because therefore I could meet new people, learn more about how to build a sustainable business and all these components which come with it. And so my skills are definitely in like thinking of how to create a business out of the idea, financial part. And but I'm also quite interested in technology, so it's kind of a mix of both, how to implement technology in business and let's say the social impact we're trying to create here, and especially make it sustainable.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think we need this. Yeah, totally.
And what is your skill set? or your strengths and improvement areas. Did you take this test as well?
I didn't.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
But what it sounds like, that's the strength, is the practicality
Yeah.
of ideas, right?
Okay. Ilona Budapesti. I'm a software engineer by training. I'm a full stack JavaScript engineer. And I actually came with a specific idea here to build a chatbot, a Facebook Messenger chatbot. So the problem a very good problem is that our nonprofit, Org, that teaches women how to code, is running a summer of code for women, which is why I'm live streaming to the participants. Hi, everybody. We originally aimed for 300 women because in Oxford, when we ran the Oxford Hackathon, which was a technical hackathon, out of 809 applications, we only received 57 females.
Wow.
57.
Why do you think that is?
Yes, exactly. I don't really know why, but I decided that's not enough. And so I'm going to solve the problem. So we tried a lot of things that didn't work. And now what we're doing is we're offering it online for free. And the 300 was our goal, to get 300 women. This started in April. As of yesterday, we had 18,000 applications.
Wow.
So me and the volunteers, we don't have enough human power to answer FAQ, the general FAQs on our Facebook page. And my very specific problem is we have an 18-page long Google document. Do you use Google Docs?
Yeah.
So it's just a Google document with all the questions and answers, and I'd like to automate that today. So that's this afternoon when we have hacking time, I would probably try that. But if you have other things as well, I researched how the chatbots work. So if maybe there is something else that you're interested in, and I can help you do that, then I'm very happy. Or I actually might be reassigned as a mentor in the afternoon, so you can use me as a technical advisor, I guess. Yeah, that's right.
So with the chatbot,
Yes.
what is the main aim?
Very specifically, imagine when you go into our Facebook page, let's say you go to 1 million women to tech, and you're like, what is this? Or you will see the main site says register for the summer of code, and people are like, oh, where do I register? What's the website? How much does it cost? Oh, it's free. Okay. You say there are hackathons. What's a hackathon? Or, oh, you say there will be teams. How do I form teams? Or I want to mentor. So people are coming in with all their questions, and all of this is answered. So what we would like to do is for the chatbot to answer most questions, and then only those that cannot be answered by the chatbot then can come to human moderation, so that we can scale.
Only tech-related, like the questions and
The FAQs are very logistics related, in fact. So there's a little bit of technology question because we have 12 weeks, and each week has a technical focus. So like introduction to Python, introduction to JavaScript, make your first mobile app. So those are specific, but that's also, we can tell the chatbot the answers. We just needed to recognize what your intent was when you were asking. Anyway, so that's a very specific hack that I thought was good for like a small hackathon. And I don't know if this team will do it, another team, but I think the ladies online who are watching, that's what we're gonna do. So yeah.
and basically with machine learning, you're also trying to automate.
Yeah, there is so there is a machine learning component underneath it, but you don't have to actually write it because Facebook and others provide the engine. So what the hack is actually just, you don't need to know how to code in the beginning. You just have to understand how to structure the question and answer. And then I can connect the backend with the AI, and that can recognize the question, and hopefully there's a little bit of training, but I'm hoping that the 18,000 community is strong enough that we can train the bot quickly, and it will be pretty good, hopefully.
It's a good start.
Yeah. So that's what brought me here. And I think, I don't know my strengths and weaknesses, but specifically technology. So if you decide that you want some technical aspect, then that's me.
So I guess you're also a coder.
That's what I am, yeah.
And since when did you start? How did you get?
Well, I'm a software engineer by training, so I spent 10 years in Silicon Valley as a software engineer. Yeah. PayPal, Motorola. Before that, I worked actually in London at the Royal Bank of Scotland. Before that, at Lehman Brothers. So.
Can I'm just thinking, like, if there's blind and visually impaired users, can they ask questions like audibly? or does it have to be?
That's a great question. I think the way it works right now. So I have one blind friend, and she is amazing in using her mobile phone. So what she can do is she has these already built into the phone. We don't have to write it. It reads out the web page to her and the Facebook page, and then also on the input she uses the voice recognition input. You know how in the field you have a little microphone. So she'll ask her question and have it read back to her and correct and then send. So for her, it would work for blind people.
Should we have like a bit of a brain dump with?
Let's have a brain dump of all of our projects and see if maybe there's an overlap between them.
Because like if you look at the
Yes.
If you look at the second step, it's like identify the challenge. As a team, have a conversation around the chosen team. What challenges and insights do you know about? Do your research and understand so you can ask them.
Do you guys have research about the topic? I have something to share.
I have, please. Okay.
So would you like
Shall we make a list? Can we have somebody maybe even, yes, fantastic. So we can all write down.
So something
Please say the name again.
Louise.
Louise. Okay,
Yeah.
so Louise.
So something that actually came to me this week that I found really inspiring is an app called Be My Eyes.
Be My Eyes. Okay.
Have you heard of that?
No.
So essentially, it's a volunteer scheme that you download the app and you register yourself as either a volunteer or a member, and it's for blind people to basically you answer calls and they show you what they need to see in that moment. So I get a call. I had my first call the other day because I signed up as a volunteer. There's more volunteers than there are people signed up as blind, which is amazing.
Wow. Can I see the number?
When they call me, they show me using their phone what they're looking at. And this woman had a birthday card in front of her, and she wanted to know whether the birthday card already had happy birthday written on it. It was as simple as that. She showed me her card and it didn't. So I said, no, there's just a bike. There was just a motorbike, no writing. She said, thank you very much. That's it. It's for my, and then she just said, it's for my brother. And I just wanted to make sure that I didn't write down happy birthday. No, because
She just shows it. They show it.
It's live. So
it's like a video call.
It's a video call. Never met the person, like always complete. She didn't need to introduce herself. All she said was, what's on this? Yeah, what's on this card? And it might be as easy as someone having like a pink sweater or
I
a
love
purple
it.
jumper.
Can I have my phone? I'm gonna download it and try
And then
it.
they're like, which one is this pink or is it like I want to wear my red sweater today? And you'll be like, it's the one on your right. This one, yes, and that's it. Thank you very much. Next.
But how does it work? Like from this, like I don't know.
Can I show this into the camera? This is fantastic.
So for example, you need help. So you just ring, and from this 150,000 people, all get ring.
And if you're not available, then they'll go to someone else. So
Be My Eyes. It's helping blind people through a video call when they are outside shopping or doing anything and just need a bit of help with somebody who can see.
I was thinking that maybe this could be adapted to Skillshare. What if, because one of the things on here is that jobs, right? Talking about employability and the skills, and then also it was reinforced today that the skills, the underlying skills, are pretty much the same, like through the EMM. That he was talking about, and I was thinking, what if there was a way that if you wanted to mentor someone who was maybe blind or autistic or they had a disability, that you could set up similar thing to this, and you pick a skill that you want to work on that day, or you want to, I don't know, this is like the part that I haven't thought about, but you click on whatever those, it could even be like a certain list of skills, right? And you could just click on that skill, say networking, so click on that, and I've registered networking as my strength through my profile, and I will then accept a call from them, and I could directly answer a question that maybe they have. Or there's something that if I'm a waiter and someone wants to get a job in hospitality, I've registered myself with these skills and these experiences, and I will be able to mentor or accept a mentor call from someone who has an app like this and answer a question that they have.
I love it.
I only thought about it because when this came, I was like, fuck, like I didn't know this technology exists, so then something like this could exist.
I like it. It's very possible. So like
Skillshare
or skills. Or maybe it's not just for disability, right?
No, it could be
inclusion. Anybody.
I think it's the idea that
it's also non-disabled.
Exactly. It's
Like,
not just targeted. It's everyone. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we could pick. I mean, the fact that our theme is inclusion, disability, that could be the focus of this. But yeah, I think it could be.
Fantastic. Thank you. Good idea.
I'm very interested in the second point because I prepared this yesterday with a friend of mine and we talked about this. I focused on
Please say the name again.
Liliana. Sorry.
Liliana. Okay, Liliana.
So my presentation, I talked about how I hate
with a Y.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Just a Y.
We're learning.
No problem. So I told you guys I hate any kind of inequality, and I believe I have a colleague of mine at work who's deaf and he can hardly speak, and so he made a crazy presentation about his disability, and in fact he talked about the school system and how he used to do school and stuff, and in fact there are no real structures. Schools and stuff to teach them how to read. So he was like, in class, he's deaf, okay? And reading is what you read out loud, right? He was in a regular class of regular other students, and no one was there to teach him properly. Because so normally, I don't know. So he was helped because he can hardly hear. He can read it on the lips, but how to pronounce it, he doesn't know. So it shocked me. I'm like, this is, and reading is the basics. I'm not telling you about studying whatever. Reading is the basic, right? So that shook me, and I thought it was really important to at least give them disabled kids the basic skills, just like us, right? So that because the figures here shocked me. 50% less likely to have a job. This is crazy. They're less likely to have a higher education. This is unfair to me, to be honest. So I think we should work on those skills. That's what I said at the beginning. We should work on giving them the skills, the same skills as regular students. But then he told me, okay, but why would we expect the same thing from them as we expect of the other people, regular people? Because if you give it, how can I explain it properly? If
Liliana, I'm going to ask you to give us suggestions that everybody can get their ideas out. I think we all feel passionate about it. What do you think with our skills can help this person or somebody else? Okay, can you give us some suggestions?
Personalized solutions.
Personalized solutions.
My main idea is to accept disabled people as they are and what they can bring.
But what would you like? We have to suggest either a campaign or a project or an app. We have to suggest something for the hackathon that we can present. So do you have specific an output that we can do today?
Well, I just want to understand that saying aloud part. So they can't read because they don't know how to what it sounds like. Is that right? Like Braille is fine.
No,
blind.
Yeah.
Oh, sign language.
So they can
maybe
read
that
and understand.
Either sign language, right? Either because it's a language after all, just like English, just like French, it's a language of sign. So we could do an awareness campaign about maybe sign language, for example.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Awareness campaign about sign language. Good.
Sure. Yes. So that the deaf person who's employed or who goes to school with us would communicate with that person, and we would fix the problem of marginalization. Yeah, we would include them.
Okay. I researched this area previously quite a lot. I have a lot of views on it. If you can come up with something tangible that we can do, then it's good. The truth is, to get a majority to learn a skill of a minority, it's very difficult. And to be honest, I think that this problem has been solved by many other institutions who work specifically on getting literacy and numeracy skills to people who are deaf or who are teaching.
But what about the rest?
Yeah, so we don't. So that's maybe that's it. The question is, should the general population learn to sign? I don't know. I mean, that's a question, right? That could be your campaign. If you believe that, then that's your campaign, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, but I kind of agree because when I think, because I know no one who's deaf, so therefore, even if there would be an app or then I don't know if I would even learn to sign
Yeah,
language
you
or
have to
something
do
like
it
that.
when you need it, right? That's
And how you say, the majority does not need it. So.
Maybe, like from a practical perspective, what I could give today. Okay, let's go around and we can all contribute to everybody's idea, and then so we'll do 2 rounds. The first round you throw out what you want. The second round we go through and everybody throws out what they think of each project.
By the way, if I have some spelling mistakes, please let me know.
Okay, we will.
So I can take a look at that?
Yes, please.
So, because I really like, because I can see we've got like strong know-how about blind people, and so what I thought is like blind people also need to use institutions like the bank and a shop or just really standard things, which every human needs and needs to go to, and obviously they can't use Google Maps, right? Because they're blind, they can't.
That's not
obviously
quite,
they can.
That's not quite true because they have the voice. There is voice navigation.
Yeah, but is it also how you say is it transformed or made for blind people? Is it compatible for them? Is it kind of customized?
It's not customized, but because there is custom input and output tools for blind people on the mobile phones. If you talk to a blind person, they will navigate with it. Like they will use the voice recognition to get their destination. And once the destination is correct, then they will use voice navigation.
Once they reach the destination,
yes.
Then what about the building itself? If they're looking to go to the bank to withdraw some money, right? And maybe they are there in front of the door, but they don't know. Okay, are there like a step?
Yeah. So Microsoft is working on visual, exactly that, visual description. And there's also startups that do auditory description of your surrounding. So you wear a glass and it says, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people or 4 people around you with 2 nodding their heads. And then trying to describe that.
But also like the building itself, where what is.
Yeah,
like the ATM, for example, or USB desk with the customer support and stuff like that.
So I don't know if you've done the research, but there is a lot out there already on this.
Okay.
Yeah, which is good. So your suggestion was.
Maybe let's map the essence of what you're trying to say there. So
it's basically an app which helps the blind people to navigate.
But actually, having thought about that, that's kind of Be My Eyes. That's one thing that you can
exactly.
Do
so that's the exactly. So Be My Eyes is when you need the human, and in between, Microsoft is I know already developing, and these startups are developing the in between, like a soundscape that describes a visual scape.
Just one thing that I could get a call at is them being at the bank and being like,
"Where's the ATM?"
Where's the ATM? And you could be like,
left,
it's on the left, and then they'll maybe be like this. Be like, yeah, exactly. Walking that direction.
This is a good idea. But like, for example, go on the exit of the bank and get there.
Totally. No, but there's that as well, right? But maybe people feel that they'd rather ask a straight. I don't know. It's the option, right? They have the option of a person.
Yes. And sometimes you are in a social situation. My blind friend said, and you're in a new restaurant and you don't know where the toilets are, and you need a seeing person to tell you because there's no way you're going to find it. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So.
But put navigation.
Navigation. Combine those. Yeah, so your idea would be to combine those two.
Essentially.
Okay, great. Yeah, it was interesting reading here that employability is such a huge issue. 50% less likely to have a job, and I think that's crazy. So maybe it's some kind of community app set up, some kind of platform where small business owners and disabled people looking for a job, and it's an opportunity to just gain some experience. Maybe it's a day's work experience, maybe it's just something where you can kind of apply for a job, you set up your skills, and it's just a way to build up your CV. I know it's hard, like I am like gone for education, and it is hard to get a job. It's hard to get experience without any experience, and it can be a bit of a vicious cycle, but it's through your connections with people.
I might just put this in the chat bot. Like if you're, because we're doing female and non-binary, if you have some physical disability and you're female and non-binary, here's a chat bot. Tell us if you're comfortable, what your issue is, but where you are located and what kind of jobs you're interested in, and we'll try to match you with a company or a local mentor who's willing to give you a one-day experience. And then the same chatbot, and the chatbot can have the opposite: is, are you an employer who is willing to take on for one day somebody who has a physical disability in your city? Please tell us your company, your address, and the contact detail, and we will match you up.
And this is exactly what I was trying to get across with the skill shares, because that work experience is an amazing idea. Like, what if on one of my days as a film producer, at the end of my day, I'm willing to take a call and tell them about my day and give them like virtual work experience?
I know somebody that's a small business owner. They sell basic products on like eBay and Amazon, and if you're a picker-packer for a company, an online company where they send out their goods, you're literally there just counting items. And someone came in one day and said, I have an autistic student in my class and they would be great for something like this. But in that business owner's eyes, they weren't employable in that sense, because they felt like they didn't have the time to kind of look after their needs in a small business sense. So maybe it's putting these people in contact in a way that the business owner feels comfortable employing someone that hasn't had the experience that they need.
Why didn't they feel comfortable? If it's just counting items, that's perfect for somebody with autism, because they are the person who will not make a mistake. Actually, probably.
Yeah, but I think it's the awareness of that. I think it's having the time. If you're a small business owner, it's having the time that you need.
So maybe we need a campaign for employers to accept and not just accept, but to appreciate. But to appreciate their uniqueness. So somebody who has maybe some sort of numerical gifted autism probably is extremely good for this type of job, because they will be so, like, they won't be able to leave the table until everything's counted and everything's measured, right?
For me, this is all coming down to skills. Like, that's the underlying.
skills. Okay, yeah.
So
it's a bit like that.
I'm gonna get a croissant. 1 second.
So it's a bit like this test that you've all taken to even be here in the first place. So maybe it's some kind of online app to apply. You have to go through the certain tests where it discovers your skills, your best skills, and the skills you need to work on.
But it's funny because I was just saying that we're curious talking for
people
disabled people.
Yeah.
But in fact, they would be the ones to actually know best what they need. Right?
Yeah.
So, and this is another thing we talked about with my friend Toolkitten. We said that we could also create a platform on which all kind of disabled people, blind, deaf, paralyzed, any kind of disabled people would express themselves and said, oh, okay, today I faced this difficulty, today I faced this difficulty. And we could use it for the workplace, so we could let them express themselves. Okay? Then we could do some sort of like pages regarding the everyday life, work life, and everything. And employers would look at the work page of this platform and look at all the difficulties they go through work life, and maybe put on tools or ways to improve those difficulties they face. You know what I mean? And also, it's for them to feel also understood and not like realize that they're not the only ones who go through this difficulty every day.
Would employers actively go on this site if it's not embedded in something that they will naturally want to use? Like, if Facebook, for instance, launched a new app or whatever, it was embedded within Facebook, I think employees may be more likely to actually use it, but I think there are things, like, we have to make it. My sort of like question with creating disabled only apps is that creating inclusion in itself, because it's not with the greater, it's not the greater
It needs to include the employees as well.
Yeah. We have to, but it's the main thing here is that we talk for disabled people, but they're the one who could talk better about their disability. You know what I mean? So we should, in the first place, give them a job so that everyone know what they go through.
Or if you were saying the test, everybody does a test, a profiling, so that they can express, like you're saying, what they're telling you what they want to tell you, not the other way around.
Yeah. And then get others involved, such as companies or universities, schools, whatever, the big institutions.
So it's basically like a platform for a professional platform.
Yeah.
For disabled.
For CV building and skill sharing. Finding work, yeah.
I like those. Can we have those two key terms, CV building and skill sharing? That's very good. Because we have to start thinking about also, you have to start thinking about your pitches, right? You'll need some highlights. This is the problem. This is our solution. But actually, this is the problem. This is what others have done. This is our solution.
Yeah.
And here's the demo. And you have 3 minutes for the whole presentation. That's awesome. Okay.
So now we have to identify the.
Sorry, you could maybe add here also like chatbot technology.
You can add it under me if you want. Ilona, I-L-O-N-A.
Ilona.
That's my. Do you want to add me as well?
Yeah. Did you want to talk about yours?
Yeah.
Sure. I-L-O-N-A. Ilona. And it's an FAQ chatbot for Messenger. I-L-O-N-A. Ilona.
Chatbot.
So chat. C-H-A-T.
Chatbots about?
To answer, yes, to general FAQs.
On Facebook.
On Facebook Messenger, yeah. About 1 million women. Well, for us specifically, for the 1 million women to tech. Because I already have everything ready, I just have to do it. For about 1 million women to tech, or one word, no spaces. But I like the idea.
Tech related, people can ask.
Yeah, well, again, exactly. This is the question we get. So we have, and then the chatbot would say, you have a question. Awesome. Can I tell you about what we're doing this summer? It's called the Summer of Code. We have 12 weeks of free online coding courses and hackathons. And here's would you like to see the course menu?
Right.
And then the conversation continues, right?
Right.
Exactly. Great. So, but we do have, actually, I have this problem. I only have 116 mentors, but we have 18,000 women. So I have the Skillshare problem. So maybe I think I might try to put this in. Do you have skill to mentor? Yes. Okay, great. Which languages can you mentor? Python, choose, please. Java, Ruby, I don't know, JavaScript. Would you be willing to mentor somebody with a disability? Dude. Great. Okay, let us match you up. Vice versa.
I really like this.
And for disabled people, like they could ask the chatbot what kind of company would hire me. I have those skills.
Great. Or I would like to learn these skills. Can can you match me something? Like, can I shadow somebody for a day and then the mentors could be to take
It's
people
just
in.
giving up your time, isn't it? And I think that's what some people find hard to ask for. If you think that you can't give much back, but it's the willingness to give up your time to teach somebody something, and a lot more people are willing to do that than we realise.
Yeah, totally. Because it's
You should say that sentence in the final presentation. It's so beautiful. Like
I'm not
exactly.
presenting,
Yeah.
I'm mentoring it.
Yeah, no, but this is exactly the same sentence. Yeah.
It's definitely true. I totally agree.
More people are willing to give up their time to teach something than they realize. Yeah.
I think it could be an app as well, like a standalone app, because I think it's something that you can tap into.
I think an app is very convenient. I think it's convenient for everyone's day-to-day life, and it probably will integrate into their day-to-day routine.
And it can be integrated with social media.
Yeah,
I think an app is very good. I don't think I could in one afternoon. Well, if I had a template maybe, but yeah.
But I think it's something cool that's new as well that we can just start from scratch. And
Do you want to make an app design for the afternoon? I mean, technically speaking, you can also show just a prototype.
you
Like,
would be amazing.
No.
So why
Not
don't
the
we
time.
do it in Facebook, using Facebook tools, as we said?
Yeah.
Way easier. And bonus points.
and bonus points. 6.5 hours remaining. Okay. What else? I think let's do one more round. Let's go around all of them and throw out, based on those, what our ideas were. So let's start again with Be My Eyes, the skill share. Does anybody have something to add?
Question, is this for, is it targeting disability, or is it the fact that disability is included in the whole, but it's and like anybody could use this. So if I was looking for if I had an idea for a project and I needed a mentor in entrepreneurship, I could tap into the bot or the app or whatever it is and try to find someone. And hey, maybe like someone from Goldman Sachs has registered themselves and they take like a 5-minute talk with me. Do you know? Like, is it for everyone or is it just targeting?
Yeah, that's interesting.
The chatbot. That's a good question. How does it work?
So for us, it's very structured. The Summer of Code runs from July 14th to October 14th. And each week there is one specific course that people take. So week 1 will be Introduction to Python for the complete beginner. And so for that, we're looking for the mentors who during that week willing to give up 2 hours per day to be online to answer questions. Yeah, so it's like very, very structured and it's specific for that. And then everybody can come. So it's not as on demand as what you're describing, but that's just like the way we have set it up for now.
Yeah, but like, how would you include other people in this? For example, if a disabled person wants to take, I don't know, X courses or be mentored, as you said, for like one particular thing.
Okay, so how it works right now, if somebody, let's go to Facebook. Like if somebody landed onto our Facebook page, let's say a disabled person, a blind person, right? And the thing is reading it out to them, 1 million women to tag, and then okay, so for example, they land here, and then so I don't know, the machine reads out, okay, nonprofit organization in Oxford, learn to code, win prizes, find a job, Summer of Code. Make sure pre-register to the free online Summer of Code at 1 million women to tech.c. See more. Okay, so they click see more, they read it, and they're like, okay, join 15,000 women from. So it reads it out to them, right? And then they're like, oh, okay, maybe it's interesting. It's online. It's coding. I wanted to learn Python, and then it go and be like, okay, so they navigate and be like, let's say they either click sign up or they message. I don't know if I can message myself because I'm logged in as the page admin, and they say, okay, can I join as a disabled person? And then the FAQ bot will be like, absolutely, as long as you have ability to listen to the lectures and the ability to read out the screen and to type somehow, then you can. Can you do that? Yes, no. Yes, okay, then yes, please sign up. Here is the link. Or no, if you cannot, then perhaps you can still, well, then it's difficult. If they cannot type, then it's difficult, yeah?
That's what I was going to say. It's more like people, for example, or those who, I don't know, don't have arms or whatever. It's, our solution is not really targeting
every kind of disability.
Correct.
We
We
have
need to be
to
able to use
specify.
technology. Yeah, we have to target.
I mean, if you go for disability, specify which kind
Yeah.
of, or it's more like how you said, just a platform and we include disability. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to find that.
I think one of the, I don't know, this is like a little bit bigger perhaps than what we are doing, but I also have a friend who is in a wheelchair in the Toastmasters group that I go to. And he's actually my mentor for Toastmasters, and he's amazing. Like, he gives such good feedback about body language, about diction. I need to learn more from him about how to raise your voice when you're really excited. Really like, he's just a fantastic mentor. So, for example, I don't know if there were jobs in which you would need to give feedback, or in our situation in the hackathon, maybe when people are developing apps, these people, you don't can give feedback. Hey, have you thought about doing it this way? Have you thought about doing it that way? They can be very good. All sorts of customer service, anything that can be done with voice, for example, somebody in a wheelchair can do very well, like any type of customer service, mentoring, teaching. Anybody who cannot speak but can type, like deaf people, for example, can do very good, like or chat support, and vice versa. So the question is to find, maybe we could ask them what is it that you can do, and then match them with somebody who needs that need. Again, skill sharing.
About doing the test,
Yeah.
profile.
But that's what the chatbot does basically. It's like you can turn a form into a graph within the chatbot that says, can you type? No. Can you speak? Yes. Can you hear? Yes. Can you see? Yes. No. And then it's like, let me match you to task. Would you be okay? Let's say you cannot see, but you can type with the voice typing. Would you like me to match you with somebody who would have you as a per day intern? Yeah. Or I can hear, I can see, but I cannot type because I'm in a wheelchair. Great. Okay. Do you want to be matched with somebody who's developing an app and needs a pair of eyes to look through their app and give them feedback? Yes. Great.
So maybe it's a work experience for development of, because that's really interesting. You said about pairing them with, let's say, a startup that might need like
a pair of eyes,
pair of eyes, or with disability. Like it's what you were saying about not saying what people need, but giving the people the opportunity to have like a direct impact with development. It's like right now, if essentially what would be the ideal scenario, we could go onto our Facebook chatbot around this thing, and
I want to be a mentor, or I want to give my skills,
or say I'm a mentor. Like you, either I am a mentor, or I would like to be mentored, or I need work experience. I can provide work experience.
I like that. Can we put that down? I need work experience on one side, and I can provide work experience.
Like, it's so simple. If you just go in here, and the first page will be like just those things. Like, I need work experience.
I can provide work experience. That's perfect. Like, because I can, if you've interacted with a chatbot before, one of the easy things to do is to offer choices.
Right?
Yeah. It's like, hey, welcome. It's awesome to have you. Would you like to hear a joke, or do you want to get started right away? Let's get started. Okay. I say which one's you? I need work experience. I can provide work experience, and then the tree continues.
So what I was trying to say with this is, say we had that set up now, and we opened it and said, I can provide work experience, and we were just to click that right now, and then we had a selection of different abilities and disabilities, because it's an app that promotes disability, because there's something that they can be used. They can share using their disability. So say we need a blind or visually impaired participant. So then that was the chatbot. We click blind, visually impaired, and then we connect them using Wi-Fi through this Facebook app, and they become here present with us in the conversation. We give them an update. Look, we're in a brainstorm right now. We're trying to develop an app that helps provide work experience. Are you happy to be part of this? And they're looking for experience because they've filled it out, and this is what, and then they become part of this group.
Love it.
So maybe then the tail end of that is that then this software is something that can help that individual person build their CV. So maybe it's all online, maybe it's all on this app, and maybe it's something where as soon as you click that you've like completed this work experience or done this job,
Yeah.
those skills then get automatically put onto your CV.
Yes, and it's
then
like
build up your
it's like
profile
they're-
even
yeah,
further.
exactly. Like it's objective because they can say that.
Oh my God, this is great. I'm so sorry for my friend who's in the wheelchair. I was thinking because writing is difficult, but he can Skype
Yeah.
from his computer. Like he has his life set up enough that he can Skype from home.
Yeah. What's his? What are you able to get in contact with him?
Yeah, I can.
Why don't we ask him what his skills are?
Because we could use him as
We
our
could use
profile
him
for the
as our profile and
presentation.
bring him into our pitch.
Nice.
Pilot dummy.
Huh?
It's our pilot dummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do.
Just to clarify, if you got it right,
Yeah.
we're talking about a chatbot that disabled people use, and also mentors who have something to offer and to give.
Are we talking about a chatbot or are we talking about an app, a platform?
A chatbot that would be
I think for the because you can have that within a bot, which is what
Well, you could have a platform where they can go to, and through the chatbots, then these questions will
So
be
maybe
asked.
if they support each other, there's
Exactly.
an app, and then but it's integrated with Facebook, so it's also
nice.
accessible in a place where which is what we were saying.
His name is Don. Let me shoot him an email, and then I don't know. I don't think I have his phone number, but I have his Skype. Let me see if he's willing to Skype with us. Yeah. One second.
We were just actually asking a question. Do we have